Started.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Vasudesh Pandey from Easylib Software Private Limited. Today's topic of the webinar is project management, especially integration of the project management practices into the educational segment. Okay, so this particular webinar is going to be just for about 30 minutes. In this, we are going to cover the broad aspects of the project management, which itself can take multiple hours, but we are going to try to make it a very concise one. Then we are going to go over some of the things that how we integrate into educational institutes. Then we will see the demo of the easy one project management module all within 30 minutes. We'll try to keep it very short and very focused. And just a little bit introduction, Easy One is a part of Easylib software. We have been providing the software for the education institutes for the last 25 years. Today, we have got nearly about 700 customers spread across multiple states in India and some of them outside India too. Thank you very much for all our customers, especially about 300 of them are using our cloud version of the software for the libraries and a few other modules. And we are hoping this will continue to grow. Without further delay, we will get started on the project management module right away. Okay, so what's a project? Building a bridge. The left side, what you are seeing is one of the best, the well-known bridges. That's the San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge. That's a project. Okay, wedding is a project because typically project and operations. The difference between the project and an operations is that project has a fixed start date, end date. It has got the specific deliverables and it has got the quality constraints. Cost, quality, and time. These are the three characteristics of a particular project. Okay, so wedding is similar to like that actually. This one you are seeing here, somebody is trying to clean the windows. That's of a multi-story building. That's a project. You are going to the gym. Okay, let's see the gym. So if you are training for a specific gym event, that's the project. But if you are doing it on a regular basis, that's an operations. Okay, so wedding is an event. Lifelong living with the family is an operations, right? Like that. Okay, so similarly, this is one of the beautiful projects that was done in the villages where a few of the volunteers within a week turned a lake which was totally dirty into a beautiful lake. That's the project. Okay, so basically the project has got a specific goal, what you want to achieve. It has got the start date and the end time, and it has got a fixed scope of what you need to do, and the resources come from the different places and segments. So primarily the goal, start time and end time, that's the timeline, and the scope. There are the three things, and these are achieved through the multiple people, resources, and so on. Okay, so all right, so because of the specific focus, I'm going to skim through this PPT because it's a much larger PPT that we prepared for about one-day session. So I'm going to cover only the key aspects of this, but I still want to show this PPT because you can look at it anytime when you wish, actually. Okay, so what I'm showing here, project management process groups. So there is an exam that's called PMP, Project Management Professional Exam, that is conducted by Project Management International. I would say that's the toughest exam that I have appeared so far because that's about 4 hours, nearly 200, I think there are 240 questions, and each of them has the best answer. There is nothing like a right or wrong answer, but the best answer. So I would recommend everybody who wants to go more deep into the project management, definitely try to clear that certification. And I would say based on my experience, it was one of the toughest exams. I was so relieved when I cleared it. Okay, so what you are going to do in the project management, there are 5 steps you are going to have. First is the initiating the process. Then you are going to do the planning. Then you do the execution. And the 4th and 5th one, monitor and control. And the last one is the closing the process group. That's the most important thing. So let's take an education institute, how you are going to implement this. Suppose you want to, let's say, your end goal is that you would like to have about 100 dignitaries visit your college. So let's say that is the goal that you are keeping. So initiating process group. So what you are going to do in that, okay, you are going to invite about 100 people. That's your initially you are starting. Then you are going to do the further planning. who you are going to invite, when they are going to come and speak, okay, and who is going to do the coordination, all that is the planning perspective. So that you will do it for 1 or 2 weeks. Then it's like a machine. On that day, you will call these 10 people. Check, sir, can you come to our college? And these are the three options. Dates, agree on it, conduct their session. You keep on doing that. And then finally, at the end of 1 year, if 100 people have to visit in 1 year, that's a big number, right? So we need one visitor every 3 or 4 days, right? And the next one is monitoring and controlling. So what it means is that as the project is going on, you are going to check how the project is going. Our target is 100 dignitaries visiting our campus in 1 year. Now it's about 3 months. Have we done 25 visits? Have 25 people come and visited so far? So that is what you are going to monitor. Okay. And then if you find that, okay, 30 people have visited, that's good. You are ahead by 5. And if only 20 people have visited, you have, less by 5. That means within the next 9 months, instead of 75, you need to have 80 visitors, right? So this constant feedback loop, that is one of the key things, monitoring and control process group. Then finally, closing the process group. What it means is that many times we do a project, we complete it, then we are exhausted. That is not the proper conclusion of a project. What it means is that at the end of every project, we need to go back and find out what all have we done good and what all should we have improved. Analyze those things, document those things, and make a perfect closing document so that next time somebody wants to do the project, they can just refer to that, create a copy of that, improvise, and do the things much better. In a Six Sigma, you know what it says? Define, measure, analyze, improve, control. So only when you are measuring and analyzing and then improving, right, you will have the constant improvement. Similarly, for the project management, you want to make sure that the last step, closing the process gap, and these the finally coming up with the BOK, body of the knowledge, and all those things, you must complete so that you are leaving a good document for the next generation. Okay, or your subsequent people who will take over. All right. So these are the initiating, planning. This is the level of process interaction. How intensely, when there is execution going on, 100 people calling. But in the initial stages, you are only sitting in the room and planning, right? Closing, all the work is done. It's again documentation, very boring work, but at the same time, very, very, very important. In the case of construction, right, completion certificate, contract closure, administrative closure, handover, all of these are required in a construction project. Imagine you are building a large apartment of 100 houses. If you don't have an OC certificate, can the people come and live? No, right? So that's where this closing becomes very important. Okay, so the rest of these slides are a little bit theory. I'm going to skip all of that and we'll directly jump into the Easylib, the Easy One project management module. Just for the sake of it, let me go over here. So this is the project schedule. You know what it means is that activity 1, activity 2, 3, 4, and you are going to define what are you going to do in period 1, month 1, month 2, month 3, and so on. Okay, so this is called work breakdown structure. So let me clarify work breakdown structure. So what it means is that suppose you are a project of building a house. Excavation is one work. Putting a plinth is another work. Building the walls, fitting the windows, roof. These are all the different, the steps in the project. They are called work breakdown structure. You broadly categorize and then you further break so that you have finally come up with one unit. So when somebody asks you what is the percentage completion, you don't approximately say, okay, I have completed about 50%, 70%. No, like that. What you would need to tell is that there are total 300, let's say 400 activities. Out of them, we have completed 250 of them. So that means 250 divided by 400. So that means the project value is 62% completion. There are two items that you need to see: earned value analysis. In that, what it means is that in that period, how much worth of work is completed. This will be too short of time to cover that earned value analysis. That will be one of the homework for all the people who have attended this. Okay, so basically that tells you how much worth of the work is completed. That's the earned value analysis. Okay, imagine this is a very interesting topic, the project management scenario. You know, if all the projects in the world were running on time, on schedule, within the budget and with the quality, the world will be much better place. So that's why it's important we go over this project management. Okay, so I would suggest you go through all of these things. All right. Okay, so there is one project, make Bangalore safer for pedestrians. So these are the different activities. 7 teams to work, 25 minutes. You know, different people, how you do that. So break up, do all that thing. Okay. So all right. So what I'm going to do now? So let me go into the Easylib software itself. Okay. So this is where we'll spend a little bit more time. Okay. So now what it means is that in Easylib, we have added project management module. Why did we add that? Let's see this. So in a typical education institutes, what are the kind of projects you are going to do? Suppose you want to go for NAC assessment, right? That's a project, because NAC assessment starts, how it starts? First you need to study, then you need to apply, then you need to do the preparation of what you need to do, then you need to submit your SSR, right? And you know the documents you need to submit. Then there is a online evaluation. Then the things are changing, so there could be additional online evaluation or in-person visit. Then the remediation. Then finally you get the certification. Then you plan on what's going to be done next year, right? So this is a typically a 5-year project, right? So from year 1 till year 5, there's a complete blueprint you are going to define. That's a NAC assessment cycle. Similarly, you have got the NBA assessment, right? And let's say AICT, they come up with a certain rules and regulations that you need to follow, right? So that could be a particular project or any initiative that you are going to take in your college. So we talked about inviting 100 dignitaries to your educational institutes in 1 year. If 100 is big, you define what is the manageable, you know, make it 50, make it 60, 20, whatever it is. You know, every goal has to be something like called as a SMART. SMART goal means it should be specific, it should be measurable, it should be achievable, it should be relevant, and it should be time bound. If you're a small college and you are keeping about, let's say, 100 dignitaries, that's a little not achievable, right? It's a small one. But on the other hand, you define saying that, okay, monthly one VIP visit. So that means 12. 12 is much more better, right? So what you are going to do is you are going to define specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So goals, you set it up and then keep working on it. Okay, so that is another second kind of project. Let me turn off this. Okay, fine, all right. Next one. The third one that, sorry, I got lost over here. So that was the second project that we are talking about. So let me put the phone on the silent mode so that I will have undivided attention on this thing. Okay. So another project that we are talking about, you want to come up with, let's say, your annual yearbook. That's a kind of project. Because to get the annual yearbook, what are the activities involved? You need to find out what is the theme. Then you are going to come up with a list of what all kind of articles you are going to get it written. Then you are going to find out who is going to be in your team. Then what are the broad categories of the document that need to be gathered from the people, like, you know, photographs, you may have some articles, you may have some poems, then you will have the advertisements. So what you're going to do is you are going to define multiple groups of activities. Okay, that's where this work breakdown structure comes into picture. Then what you are going to do, you need to have the different people in your team approach the authors, potential authors, to ask for a particular document that can be printed in your yearbook. And as far as the advertisement is concerned, you are going to have somebody approach the different sponsors to get the advertisement. So like this, what you are going to do, you are going to break up this particular activity for your education institutes, come up with a project. right? So another project, you have your annual day celebration. That's a project. And recently in the college where I studied, the PDA college, Kalburgi, right? We had a very big alumni interaction meet. Nearly 3,000 alumni for the last 70-year batches had come over here. Right? So there are about total 25,000 alumni, nearly 3,000 people came. Imagine the amount of work to be done. Of course, that definitely having those many alumni gave a little boost to the college because their alumni can now help the current students here. Okay, that was an alumni project. And another project that I'm talking about, in this place where I studied, we had a large program of about 10 days in 2024 and 25 beginning. We had about 1 lakh people come every day to this particular venue. We had about 50 Padma Shri winners. I know those who have been awarded Padma Shri or the awards at the state level, they had come and then shared their thoughts. Imagine the massive amount of the work that was done. That's a kind of project. And that particular project obviously helped our education institute showcase that to our students, what all you can do in your life, right? So to summarize, what kind of projects you have got? You have got the annual book publishing, that's a project. Some dignitaries visits, that's a project. Come up with the annual day event, that's a project. You are going to take up a specific goal, that's an event. You are going to construct a building, that's a project. You are going to come up with start a new course, that's a project. So multiple projects you are going to take up in your educational institutes. So now how you can go into the Easylib module of the project management is very simple. You can click on menu. This menu is broadly categorized and telling about the different applications we have got. Okay, so the first one, obviously, the library management, because many of you know Easylib as the library software. Now there is a digital library module is there. Visitor management is there. Enterprise complete, lots of applications are covered in this. Learning management is there. Academic administration is there, and then there are setups. Okay, or you can simply go and see the list of items over here. Then finally, quickly search on this project management and then click this project management module. Okay, what we have done, see, imagine this project management as a whole, just to cover this high level details of the project management will take about a couple of days. We are trying to make it very simple. That is we are proud of, wherein we want to reduce the complexity that's in the real world into very simple activities and simple screens for you to get started right away. Okay, so now when you want to take up any project, what you are going to do, you first define what is that particular project about. So simple add a project. Right now, Easylib definitely supports the multiple institutes at a time. So that's why you're going to select the institute here, because this is written for the university level. Okay. So you're going to choose which university is going to do that project, which college is going to do the project within that particular university, then project name. What did I tell you at that time? There are three things, right? Time, quality, and the deliverable. So start date, end date. You're going to now this project sponsor. For any project, you need to have a sponsor because he or she is the person who you can go to seek guidance, and he is the owner of that particular the sponsoring agency of that particular project. Say, for example, when we are talking about the alumni meet, right? 3,000 people coming, and how many activities, how many people worked on it? It runs into the hundreds. For all of that, there was one person, that is the president of the society himself was behind that particular project to make sure that that becomes successful. He or she is called the project sponsor. Okay, so then project lead or the project manager. What it means, project manager is the one who is responsible for the end to end of the project, starting from planning, execution, all the way till the completion. Sponsor is the one who is behind you, supporting you on executing that project. Who is the project lead? Then, what stage is the project that you are going to have it? Okay. So that's the particular project in status you have got. Then the project description. At this moment, we are trying to make it very, very, very simple for you. Right now, many of the institutes don't have a project management module or the usage at all. So suddenly, if I tell you that, okay, project management has got these many activities, people may not even use the application. So that's why to define a project, very simple, some 6 or 7 attributes you are capturing here. That is first activity. Then you are going to do what is called as a work breakdown structure. Okay, let's take an example. What project we do it in our Easylib. Okay, one of the projects that we take up. With a real life example, I'll take. Say, for example, deployment for one particular customer. When we get an order for upgrading the Easylib software from any other software onto Easylib. So that's a kind of a project. Here, deployment checklist for so-and-so college. What it means that customer is already our using the Easylib, but we wanted to go over and then make sure that everything is done properly. Okay, that is why we defined that particular project. Okay, build Hubballi Dharwad library network, Hudalnet. That's a project. Deployment checklist for KIMS. Karnataka Institute of Medical Sciences is one of our clients. Let's open that. So what it means is that this is a sample data, by the way. Okay. So that's why you're seeing the status as the open and all that thing. Okay. So now deployment of Easylib for KIMS is one particular project. Under that, we have different activities. So check there are different projects we have got. Prepare a PowerPoint library information. Click on support when you're doing this. Is it done or not? Done or not? So something like 37 entries we have got. So what it means is that whenever we get any order from you, what we do is we go to this particular college. Let's take an example. Okay. So now today we got an order. Okay. I think Hassan Institute of Medical Sciences, we got the order. So what I'm going to do is copy all. So now this particular project is created. So now you saw this first one again, this is created. So what I will do over here is that I will modify this particular project. Modify. It was called as the KIMS, right? I'm now going to make it as Hassan Institute of Medical Sciences. KIMS. So when is it going to start? Let's say it's going to start today. And when it will end, let's say it will end in 1 week. Who is the project sponsor? That's so person. Okay. And who is the project lead? Shan Basappa is ESPL 0147, I believe. I don't remember. Anyway, so now this is the beginning stages, initial stages. So I'll put some more details, here. Complete, deploy the lib software for Hassan Institute of Medical Sciences. So I added. This project is already there, right? So I'm just going to modify that. Now this is modified. Now here we have got the multiple activities. What you can do, suppose you want to add a new activity. What is that new activity you want to add? Activity title. Create server space for him. That's an activity. When are you going to do? Today the order came. Today itself we will do. Who is going to do that? This person. And it's open. Add. Done. One more activity. So now project deploy the software. That is the second one. Again, who is going to do? Somebody is going to do. All right. Like this, you define this particular activity. Because it's a copied, right? So I have got already, there are so many activities created here. If you see here, a few things that we have got. What we have done is that even though that we took a particular project that was deployed about 3 or 4 years back, when you copied that, we put all the data as today's date, right? Imagine this. If you are doing the project repeatably, You don't have to keep on re-entering all the data, right? That's the beauty of Easylib. What we have done is that work with you to make sure that make the things very simple. So right now, easily, I am able to find out those 37 activities plus another few items that I'm going to add it here. So this one clearly tells this activity, this one, do it. Right. So now the deployment software, if Shan Basapa, I believe he has already completed this. I can go here, Shan Basapa, I can mark it as complete. Done. Then once he deploys this, oh, sorry, I think he created server space is already done long back. So now this is also completed. The server space is completed. Check wave find ability. This one. So what it means is that as we do the deployment is a few items at the broad level. Create a server space, deploy easily. But the details are where the things need to be addressed because we need to collect their data, import into Easylib. Then we need to do a checks 1, 2, 3, 4. One of the check we are going to do is check the fine wave ability, whether the fines are we can waive or not. Check the menu and ensure that all library related menu options are visible for the people who log in. Because you know what it means is that if we had not set up that one particular security thing, it will not show here. That is why we had added. Create a sample ticket, ensure that they are able to create a message. What it means is that once we deploy that software, we ask the support person to click on support, go here, it should automate. Oh, see, this is something that is not working, right? That we need to check here. Okay, so there is a little bit change that this is a test system, so we are constantly changing it. Shanvasapa, maybe you can remove that thing. Okay, so this is the when I click on the support, this is what it is coming. What it is checking is that whether are they able to open a ticket or not. So I go here, go here, go here, this one, this one, this one, and I click this. So that is what this checklist told. Where was that? Here, right? Click on menu, create a sample ticket, click on support when you're doing all these 40 activities. So now imagine what is the thing here is that why it is required. See, we deployed this software a few years back, but now all along everything is being tracked here. Say, for example, when Srinivasa School of Engineering, when we deployed, we made sure that we complete every activity to make sure that the software is running smooth. Completed, completed, completed. Right? Sometimes we use this for the test, but otherwise it's a real production data that you are seeing. Deployment checklist for Father Muller. Again, we ran through all the checklist to make sure that it's all completed. Okay. So in Easylib, we have simplified the entire big project management module into very simple few screens wherein you define a particular project and you define multiple activities. Define the activities. Then here you are going to see a screen where it tells you that what are the activities that are open, what are the activities which are in progress, how many are completed, forgive by each institute if you want to see. Okay, find out, okay, how many open items for this institute. If you are interested in one particular project, okay, again, you can choose that particular project. It is going to show the detail. Or if you are interested, okay, show me the ones that are assigned to Mr. Shan Basappa. Okay, so how many are in progress? So all that, this particular, within this project, there are nothing assigned to Shan Basappa. That's why it's not showing. Otherwise, if it is there, it would have shown that. Let's see here. 08, I'm clicking. See, for me, these are the things that are open over here. Okay. So now, next step is that in the real production environment, we also have the automatic email facility. Once the project manager creates a activity, that particular person gets a reminder saying that, hey, this is the project activity that you need to take out. Okay. So very simply, identify the projects, the activities, take the reports, follow to make sure that the work is completed on time. Okay. Next, import activities. Why we have that? Suppose if you already have done a project, you have prepared this list in Excel, simply come to the screen for this particular project, for this institute, choose a particular file, map that particular data into Easylib, and then click on import. Okay, so these are all the different fields that you want: activity title, plan date, assigned to status, and all. Import it. Very simple. So with these 4 screens, I am very confident that your project management work is going to become very, very smooth. That I can tell you very confidently. And it's a time up right now. So if you want to know more about Easylib project management module, reach either Sahana or my ID is there, or you can send an email, and we'll be happy to give a detailed demonstration for you. And as I said earlier, Easy One ERP is a fully ready functional application. If you see here, right, there are so many modules you are seeing: sales desk, service desk, finance management, establishment management, campus admin, ERP reports, enrollment, syllabus, course reserve, fee management, display board, library functions. Many functions are there. Let me tell you, we are able to develop this kind of exhaustive application for you because we ourselves follow meticulously that project management model. And I'm very confident by effective use of project management module, you will be able to increase the quality of the education. Thereby, you will be able to get a better NAC rating, NBA assessment, NIRF ranking, and so on. So that way, you will be able to find a time to do the projects that you need to do, even when you are totally occupied in the day-to-day activities. I did not even tell many more things over here because there is another module within Easylib that tells how much time each person's time is going in. So today, for example, I have got 8 hours, right? ESPL 0108. Clearly, it tells Vasu Deshpande spent about 2 hours talking to some 3 customers. He spent 1 hour on or 1.5 hours on preparing this particular PPT. He spent 45 minutes in delivering this webinar. Clearly, you get a track because only when you track, as the Six Sigma says, define, measure, analyze, improve, and control, you can achieve excellence. Thank you very much for joining. I'll be happy to take the questions, and the forum is open for you all. Thank you. If you have any questions, kindly unmute yourself and ask, or you can post a message in the Teams